Okay, guys. We have today, direct from Gilmont Camp and Conference Center on Highway 155 North, Kenny Rigoulot, Executive Director of Development and Spiritual Formation. And I'm guessing that Marie Nelson couldn't come, so they sent you. I assume she was. Anyway, let's hear it for Kenny Rigoulot.
Thank you for the introduction, Pete. So my name is Kenny Rigoulot, and my wife Jennifer and I took over as co-executive directors in January of 2021. And Marie Nelson, who many of you may know, is still our associate director. She's a dear friend of ours, and we love and cherish our time working with her. We have a great staff at Gilmont, and just a show of hands, how many of you have been out to the camp? Good. So quite a few of you have been there, and we would like to make it to where as many people as want to come out to camp can come and enjoy this beautiful piece of God's creation. And so the camp is just under 400 acres, and we've got a pond and a lake and all kinds of spaces and buildings and to enjoy. I've got a slideshow, so I'm going to kind of slide over there so I can go through the deck with you. Wanted to share that our mission statement is that we strive to provide a safe, sacred space where all are invited to grow closer to God, creation, others, and themselves. So we are a Presbyterian encampment, but Presbyterians in general tend to be pretty welcoming of all denominations. So we have an open communion table. We recognize all baptisms, and so we enjoy having people of faith come and enjoy the camp. We were delighted when we had our first Jewish camper come last summer, and we just so happened to be spending 4 out of 5 days in the Old Testament, so it worked out real well for that young lady. But I wanted to let you know a little bit more about me and my family. So I grew up coming to Gilmont for weekend retreats. I grew up in Grapevine, Texas, and we would have weekend retreats where we'd come in on a Friday night and have a keynote speaker and worship and have lots of camp activities all day Saturday, and then we'd have worship on Sunday, and then we'd go home with our groups. What we found is that was a really formative experience for young people and for youth groups to kind of solidify and to strengthen their relationships. I don't know what junior high was like for you, but it was pretty rough for me, and I credit Gilmont and my church for getting me through that time and reminding me that we are all beloved children of God. And so I had a strong tie to the camp. And so when I graduated high school, I heard that they were looking for camp counselors. And so I came out the summer of '99 and met my wife Jennifer on summer camp staff, and we were camp counselors for a couple summers with Thomas Truitt as the camp director at that time. So many of you may remember him. He was a Rotarian here, and so we worked closely with Thomas, and we became assistant directors for the summer camp program. And then, so you can see, we came back when I went to seminary to become a Presbyterian minister, and my wife was a preschool teacher. We had our first kiddo and went off to seminary, and we had a break between my freshman year and my middler year, so we came back to camp. And we directed camp. I say we. She directed camp, and I took care of the kid. So I'd put him in a backpack and go have as much fun as we could in a day. So it was a great experience. And now, that little kid in the orange shirt in that center picture is now 17 years old, going to be a senior at Gilmer High School, and is one of our lifeguards this summer. And so it's great to see how the camp continues to impact the lives of our family throughout the generations. So my wife Jennifer is the brains of the operation. I like to tell people I'm the mouth. So she handles all the details, all the day-to-day. She handles our staff. And I do development, so I come to places like this and share what we're doing at the camp, what God's doing at the camp, and visit with donors. And then I also help write the curriculum, and I help run the retreats and the camps and conferences that we've got. So I'm more hands-on with the people when they're there. She's planning ahead of time and making sure things run smoothly. And we've got 3 kiddos. I mentioned my oldest, Kenan, is going to be a senior at Gilmer. My daughter, Braden, is going to be a sophomore at Gilmer High School. And our younger son, Grayson, is going to be in 7th grade at the junior high. So we're excited about being here. We started in January of 2021. So we've got a lot of meeting spaces. So if you haven't been out to the camp since you worked there in the 80s, you might notice that there's a lot more buildings out there and some nicer meeting spaces. So the Crane Center was built in 2010, 2011, and it can have about 299 guests within that conference center. And so you can see the conference room right here is big open space. There's breakout rooms. So you can either have 4 smaller rooms or 1 bigger breakout room or 2 medium-sized breakout rooms. Great little sitting area in front of the fireplace. We've got other meeting spaces in other buildings if you've got a smaller group that works well. And then we've got a variety of sleeping spaces. So we've got 6 of these cabins in the center of the top of the screen, and they've got bunk beds on either side. And so we've got a center room where you can meet and gather, and then either side has their own bunk beds and bathroom. And then we've got our lodges that have hotel-style accommodations. And so we've noticed that most adults prefer 1 roommate as opposed to 10 roommates. So we've got some great sleeping spaces there. And then I'll real quickly run through some of the activities we do at camp. We've got archery, and our newest activity is axe throwing and ninja stars, which has been a big hit. Canoeing and paddleboarding, chess and checkers. Disc golf was added in October, and we love for guests to come. We do require that they sign, a release form that, you're not going to sue us if you get hurt playing disc golf. But if you want to come fish or hike or play disc golf, we'd love for you to come out to the camp and just enjoy the scenery. We've got a hammock circle. I thought this would be a big hit with folks that just want to take a nap, but we found a lot of folks, children, youth, and adults, love to come and sit back and watch the wind blow through the trees above them and enjoy that space and visit with their neighbors. Hiking, fishing, mini golf, sports and games. We've got a variety of sports and games that kids can play. Swimming, team building, zip lining. We have 1 zip line, and it's a lot of fun. And then we've got our programs. So during the summer, we have some Gilmont programs where we hire the staff, we set the curriculum, we run everything. We also have rental groups that come and will do a week of camp with their own programming, and we'll do the certified activities. We provide the lifeguards and the zip lining and the archery and that sort of thing. So we've got a mix throughout the summer. But we love summer camp. That's where I met my wife Jennifer. It's where our kids fell in love with the camp. And so I wanted to show a brief video, or a little promo video. I'll see if this works. That wasn't my video. Well, oh, hold on. So it was showing on my screen and not yours. There we go. I don't think the music's super important. So, yeah, I could do that. So those of you that have been out to the camp, how long has it been since you've been there?
Many years.
Many years? Yeah,
10 years, I think.
10 years?
Probably 10 years.
Yeah.
6 or 7 years?
1968.
1968. Wow. So we didn't even have the 6 bunkhouses. Those were built in the early 80s. So, okay. Yeah, we're renovating some of the buildings you might remember, those that are left. But yeah,
Their high school prom.
you had your high school prom there in '68. That's fantastic. I love it. So we were delighted. We had the seniors from the Gilmer High School band that came out for a play day as kind of their last activity as a band together. So that was a lot of fun. And we had one of the seniors from the band was interested in summer camp, and so he's one of our newest summer camp counselors. So we were delighted about that.
We've had a couple of Rotary meetings at the new facility.
Say that again?
We have had a couple of Rotary meetings
Oh,
right after the new facility.
oh, fantastic. I bet Thomas was behind that. He loves showing off the Crane Center. Yes, yes. So we would love to have Rotary clubs meet there, service projects. So if you're, I know Rotary puts service before self, and so if there's any desire to participate in that sort of thing, please let us know. If you know of others that would like to come out to camp, please let us know. So that was our summer camp video. You can see, I just think a video helps with kind of putting things in perspective, and you can see people in action. And so let me get rid of that and see if I can get back to moving through the slides. No? Okay. So when COVID hit, as you can imagine, summer camps really struggled. I was serving on the board as a Presbyterian minister. I was serving a church in Cleburne, Texas, just south of Fort Worth. Had a wonderful congregation there, served for 8 years, and it was just at the 3-hour mark to get here, and so I figured that was close enough for me to serve on the board. So I'd come out once a quarter and serve on the board, and it's a whole lot easier with Zoom now. But we lost our director, Thomas, back in 2014, I think, somewhere in there. And so his assistant director, James, ended up getting hired to serve as the director. And James left in 2019. And so Marie was wearing about 6 different hats during that time and did a fantastic job. But COVID came and ruined all of our bookings for 2020. And so we decided we would try to do summer camp, and my wife, being a teacher, agreed to spend her summer directing camp that summer. And so she came out, and what we did was we had our cabins were reduced in size, and they did everything together as a cabin. So they didn't really interact with the other kids at camp unless they were outside in the open door. So any eating was done with their cabin groups. We thought if you're going to be sleeping in the same room, you're exposed. We'll just try to limit the exposure any further than that. And so they had a great time. We wore masks indoors if needed, but we did as much outdoors as possible, and it was great. But we also thought there's a lot of families that still aren't comfortable sending their kids to go and be exposed to 16 other kids and counselors. So we offered family camp. And what family camp is whatever your family looks like, a single person, a couple, married with kids, or intergenerational family can come and rent. You get one half of the cabin all to yourself, and you do all of these activities as a family. So you can go do archery or zip line or canoe or paddleboard with your family. We'll provide the meals, and so it is a great way to do a family reunion. our families really need time together, and I think COVID taught us that. And so we are still offering family camps now. That was one of those things that we decided, this is a wonderful ministry. We're going to make sure we can continue this into the future. And so we work with Presbyterian Children's Homes and Services and their foster families and single parent families that are in their programs come out. We've got Kilgore has a great ministry called Rahab's Retreat, and these ladies are bringing their families to come and enjoy family camp. And so if you have a ministry that you think this is a great fit, we would love to visit with them. If your church has a ministry that might be a good fit, please let us know. So family camps are 2-night, 3-day events. So it's some are offered over a weekend, some are midweek, but it gives you an opportunity to get your family together and enjoy camp as a family. Kind of specialty camp that we love is our gluten-free camp. It certainly seems like there are a lot more people that are gluten-free now than there were a generation ago, and celiac is deadly. So some campers or some kids cannot experience camp because if there's cross-contamination, their life could be on the line. And so 18 years ago now, a young lady named Tara was working on her Girl Scout Gold Award project. And she wanted to go to camp, but she couldn't because there were no camps that had an entirely gluten-free menu. So she created her own camp. And then she got connected with Thomas Truitt and Kim Truitt, and they brought Great Gluten Escape to Gilmont. And to my knowledge, we are one of only 2 or 3 camps in the country that offer a week of overnight camp that is completely gluten-free. And so last year we had campers from 13 different states come and join us for our gluten-free summer camp. And it is amazing. I should have brought a different video for you, a video of this little 6-year-old girl who had just been diagnosed celiac and was really having a hard time adjusting. And her parents heard about this camp, and they got her an early birthday present. And they told her and they videoed her as they said, "You're going to get to go to Sleepaway Camp where everyone is just like you. Everyone is eating gluten-free, and it is a safe place for you." And for her it took a minute for her, and then she was like, "I'm going to get to have s'mores? Oh yeah. I'm going to get to have pizza, and they're all going to be just like," it was truly heartwarming. And she came and had a blast, and her parents fell in love with the camp and are supporting others to get to come and experience this camp. So it is a wonderful ministry, and we are delighted to be the home of Great Gluten Escape. We also have our Circle of Friends ministry. So we have a lot of things that happen in the summer, but we are open year-round. And the first weekend in August, Labor Day weekend, Martin Luther King weekend, and Memorial Day weekend, we offer a retreat called the Circle of Friends. And this is for families that have kids with special needs. And the entire family comes to camp on Saturday morning, and it's always a long weekend, so they stay through Monday morning. And all of their kids, whether they have special needs or not, are partnered with buddies. And we have volunteers that are high schoolers and college students, all the way up through, we have a frequent volunteer in her 80s who come, and they are partnered up with these kiddos so that they can experience all of these camp activities. And meanwhile, their parents get to rest knowing that their kids are in good hands. And so they can do some of the camp activities on their own, or they can play games, they can share laughter, tears, resources, worship. And so it is, we've had one parent say she homeschools her kids, and she says, "This is my community, this is my support group, because this is where I'm around parents who understand how much I love my kid, but how exhausting it can be, and what resources are out there." We do a lot of fundraising and working with other groups, so this camp is completely free to the families. So we are always looking for volunteers, and we're always looking for new families. So if you know some families that have kids with special needs in them, in their family, please let them know about Circle of Friends. We'd love for them to come and experience this life-giving weekend. I had one mom tell me that her daughter and son have been coming for 10 years. They just turned 18, or the daughter just turned 18. When she was 8 years old, she wouldn't talk to anyone but her mom. And 10 years ago, she came to her first Circle of Friends weekend. And over the course of a weekend, as these buddies poured God's love into this young lady, she opened up, blossomed. And she started talking. And she went back to school, and the teacher called and tears of joy and said, "What happened this weekend?" People of faith believe that God can do miracles in a weekend. Jesus died on a Friday and rose from the grave on a Sunday. And God is still doing miracles in our midst today. And so that young lady and her family's life was transformed. And we get to see that happen year after year, weekend after weekend. And I'd love for you and your friends and others to get to experience that as well. So please let people know about the Circle of Friends. It happens in our own backyard right here at Gilmont, and it happens 4 times a year. And we would really need more volunteers to be able to bring more families on. So that's the Circle of Friends retreat. And you can find that at our website. It has retreats and other opportunities. It's one of the options in the drop-down. So Circle of Friends is a great ministry, and we'd love for you to be a part of it. We also have retreats for adults. Camp is not just for kids. We have women's retreat in the spring, as well as a men's retreat. The women do a lot of yoga and wine. We had...
We're going.
It's a great weekend.
That's all you work on.
Yeah. Yoga and wine, right? My wife was not a drinker, never drank anything until she went to the Gilmont's women's retreat, and she came back with a bottle of wine, and I was like, okay, I guess we're doing that now. Whereas with the men's retreat, we went with barbecue and bourbon. But it was a great time. The women have had a successful retreat for over a decade. The men, we always felt like we needed to do a work project, and so we were always working on the camp whenever we'd have a men's retreat. But this year we decided we needed to work on ourselves, that God wasn't finished with us yet. And so we studied the story of Jacob wrestling with his family and with his own identity and even with God. And it was a truly incredible weekend for those men to connect with their Creator and to wrestle with what God was calling them to do in their life. So it was a wonderful weekend. We love our retreats for adults. We also have retreats for children and youth. Lots of fun. That's how I got connected to the camp. And we invite folks to do mission projects. So we have churches, a variety of churches that come out. We most recently had the Methodist Church, Grace United Methodist, or Grace Crossing. Yes, Grace Crossing in Longview came out, and they did some incredible work helping us establish some raised garden beds and some water catching systems. And we've had Walk to Emmaus, a non-denominational group, come and do work around the camp every spring for several years. And so if you've got a work group at your church, we'd love to visit with you and give you a chance to roll up your sleeves and do some good and help us fix up the camp for our next guests. And then we also have spiritual formation retreats that's not exclusively for men or women. And this is, we've been working on the fruit of the Spirit. So we've done love and joy and peace. And now it's time for patience. So we're going to be reflecting on God's gift of patience and that fruit of the Spirit in September. So if that's something that you feel called to, I would love for you to come and join us for this retreat. It's a wonderful opportunity. And we also have an outdoor school program. So we had some of the fifth graders from Kilgore come out, and they stay the night in the cabin. They've brought a few parent volunteers to come and stay with them while the teacher stays in one of our lodge rooms to get a little break. And then they can do pioneering, they can do orienteering, they can do aquatic biology, go study, take samples from the pond and the lake, and look at the stars, and really have a great time learning outdoors, talking about ecosystems and all of those wonderful things that you can really picture in the outdoors. And then again, we have rental groups throughout the year: Girl Scouts, Cub Scouts, Boy Scouts, churches, families, all kinds of great groups come out throughout the year. We have a challenge course. In addition to the zip line, we've got some low ropes elements and some folks on our staff that are trained to do team building. So if your business or a group that you're a part of would like to come, we'd love to come and do team building exercises with you all. And then finally, we do fundraise. We're going to have one big fundraiser this year, and that is what we're calling it the Battle of the Bags. It'll be a cornhole tournament. Cornhole's become much more popular lately, and we're going to have a beginner bracket and a champions bracket. And it'll be from 11 o'clock in the morning to 4 o'clock in the afternoon. We'll have the same barbecue that we served for the men's retreat. We'll serve that, and drinks, and I think it's $50 a ticket for your team to play cornhole, enjoy the camp for the day, enjoy the barbecue and the drinks, and it will all go to supporting the camp so that we can if we help keep the costs down, that means more kids and youth can come and enjoy the camp. So we try to be an affordable camp for those, and we do have scholarships that we provide for those that need it. So we're looking for sponsors. So if you have any businesses that would like more information on being a sponsor, we'd love to put your logo on one of the cornhole boards or on a sign next to the board and really promote your business as a sponsor for this ministry. So, and I've got all of that information in this bag right here. So if you're even vaguely interested, please visit with me. Or if you have a friend that you want to share it with, I'd love to give you that as well. The other paper you've got on your table that I neglected to mention is that for the first time we're offering a day camp at Gilmont. And this is really nice for people that live in Gilmer or the surrounding area, because you can drop your kid off at 9 a.m. They can enjoy camp activities all day long, lunch included, and pick them up in the afternoon, and they can come home and sleep at home. It does two things. One, it reduces the cost of camp immensely. So if your kids really want to enjoy these activities, or you need daycare basically for the day that week, it's great. And the other thing it does is for those kids that may not be ready to sleep away, they may be younger and maybe a night away or a week of nights away is a little too much, it's a great introduction to a camp experience. So we would love, we have I think about 25 signed up for that day camp, and we'd love to double that, but so because we've got room to double it. So if any of you are interested, please take those flyers, share them with others that might be interested, and let them know that we'd love to have them at camp this summer. And now it's question and answer time. If we've got a few minutes, I know you'll probably need to close at 1, right?
Yes.
So any burning questions, and I'll stick around for other questions.
What are sponsorship costs?
So the sponsorship costs range from $250 to $5,000, and with a variety of different levels. And so I will put that right there and spread those out so you can see what you get for each level. Yeah, thank you so much. Other questions, comments? Other Gilmont experiences, I love hearing about prom. You said it was 68? 68. I'd love to see pictures of the prom at Gilmont from 68. So.
They were sketches because they didn't have cameras.
There you go. Yeah. Yeah. Any other questions before y'all do the four-way test? So I was a Rotarian for, yes. Yes, I was a Rotarian back in my Pampa days when I was a pastor in Pampa in the Texas Panhandle.
So you want to join?
I need to visit, and I'm not sure I can make the weekly commitment, but I'm certainly, yeah. Yeah.
We're much black, so we used to
I was gonna say, because they were pretty adamant that you'd be there every week when I was in Pampa.
We want you to be, but.
All right, I'm gonna hand off the mic.